Yo, hi there everybody, Ardir here. So, I want to talk about the H's Replay Top 10 heroes that they posted earlier today and give you my opinion of each hero and what tribes I think they go well together with. Let's get started. In first position, we have Galakrond. I don't have the best results with Galakrond, but I think that's mostly to my playstyle being a little bit different than what HS Replay recommends. I see, looking at statistics, they just say dragons are the best tribe by far. And I would say Menagerie does better than dragons for me, but at the same time, maybe it's not that consistent to hit Bran or Lightfang. At the same time, I'm pretty sure they underrate Menagerie. I will try to play dragons more often looking at these stats. And they also say demons are very powerful. And even though I kind of like demons, I don't value them that highly. Anyways, in my experience with Galakrond, what you want is dragons and pirates. Why pirates? You have Nat Pagal on 5, and then you have both Elise on 6, which are just powerhouses to deal a lot of damage to your opponents and level up very quickly. Demons are also very powerful because Floating Watcher is a 4-star that you can stop for if you have Rough Weaver. And you also have Imp Mama on 6, which is again just you deal 20 damage to people and you level up aggressively. Dragons are either the best or the worst. If you get Kalegos, you just won the game. If you get Nadina, you have to probably just wait another turn to roll into another 6-drop because Nadina is just super bad. Murlocs don't really matter because there's no 6-drop and you don't stop for any 5. I actually have a game where I stopped for Bagurgle and then I pivoted to Dragons when I got Kalegos later. So it was pretty good in that regard, but I don't think it's absolutely amazing. Galakrond is just good no matter what, pretty much. There's no tribes that, if they're missing, you cannot play Galakrond. Again, pirates are probably the most important tribe for Galakrond, and he can definitely play without them. Elise, they rated second best, but I would say is the best, at least in my experience and with my results. I find Elise very good at playing everything. She can play dragons, she can play Menagerie, she can play demons. She can play most things better than every other hero in the game. Other than Galakrond, if Galakrond high rolls, because she just powers through the taverns. If she gets either a token, or a swabby, or a free dealing gambler. So the curve that you go for on Elise, if you get the token, is the following. You buy it on 1, or you can also buy it on 5 gold, but usually you buy the token on 1. On 2 you level. On 5 gold you map buy 1. On 6 gold you sell your token and you level up map. Then you double buy on 7 gold with a roll, obviously. And then on 8 gold you go 2 plus 6. Or 6 plus 2. You level up and you map. And then on 9 gold, you sell a minion, level up to Tavern 5, map again. And your Tavern 5, 9 gold, just ahead of the lobby. And if you hit Bran or Lightfang, you can win the game instantly. If not, you can still go to 6 in like 2 turns or something like that, depending on how the lobby goes. Obviously, if people are pressing you a lot, you probably shouldn't go to 5 that early. Maybe you shouldn't even go to 4 that early. Just, you have to figure it out depending on what lobby and how aggressive the people in your lobby are playing. I think the 2 most important tribes on Elise are dragons and demons, mostly because you can push really quickly to 4, and you can push really quickly from 5 to 6, probably quicker than any other hero in the game. I guess Omu, but Omu is way more glass cannon than Elise. Elise can go to 6 without really putting herself at that much risk. So, for example, if you're playing a couple of dragons and you get offered Razargor on 5, when you wanted Bran or Lightfang, you can stay 1 more turn on 5 and then the turn after just go to 6, get Kalegos or Nadina. So Elise doesn't really get punished for going to 6 as much as others, so she's gonna be super good at playing dragons. The next hero on the list is Ragnaros. So Ragnaros being so good tells us and shows us that the metagame is pretty slow, that it takes a lot of time until the people die in this lobby. It's not necessarily a slow metagame that it takes like 20 turns per game. It takes a lot of time until the first player dies, and then it's kind of like a domino effect where people just die faster. Obviously, you can have lobbies where the whole lobby is dead on turn 11, but usually it takes until turn 11 and for like 1 player to die. Maybe not usually, but lobbies have been pretty slow in my experience, which makes Ragnaros pretty solid. What does Ragnaros want? I think he wants mechs, and I think he wants demons. He wants mechs just because they offer a lot of divine shields overall, and if you have mechs in the lobby and you don't hit a divine shield and you have the hero power active, you can always put a mech in the last position or in the first position, or in both, and then later in the game give them another module to not waste the stats that you buffed. So that's one of the reasons why I like mechs. The other one is Deflectobot. Deflectobot is probably the best mech in the game and the best Divine Shield in the game because he gets multiple resets. So you make the most value out of a Divine Shield that you can possibly get. Put Deflectobot position 1 and you're set for the game. And I think he can just win the game by playing Deflectobot mech strategies the whole game, which is pretty rare to be able to compete with people playing Dragons and Elementals with 2 Deflectobots, but he can. Demons are good just because you can make super big minions and then like have some Divine Shields sprinkled in or some selflesses. I just think Ragnaros can do both very efficiently, especially if he starts with a token generator into a good 5 and 6. By 5 and 6, I mean 5 and 6 gold turns. Next hero on the list is Omu. Omu very good at power leveling. He used to be the best hero in the metagame previously, and then when this metagame started, he was like one of the worst ones. And now he's okay. She found like a middle spot. I think Omu just wants to play dragons. Omu wants to play beasts, mostly just because he can go to Tavern 4, 5, and then 6 much faster than the opposition. And that allows him to just play whatever he wants. You have to be careful. If you're not hitting your triples, if you're not hitting your synergies, you probably shouldn't press the level button way too much and stay 1 or 2 more turns on the level that you are until you get stronger. But yeah, almost similarly to Elise, can go to 5 and 6 pretty quickly. Now, Milhouse, on top of wanting dragons, obviously, because if he gets Kalegos, it's game over. Milhouse is probably the best hero in the game at winning the game after he gets Kalegos, because there are so many battle cries. He benefits so much from buying a minion for 2 gold and being able to sell it for 1 gold, and then the roll being 2 gold. He's gonna benefit so much from that he's super good at playing the strategy. He can also play elementals, but there aren't that many elementals as there are battle cries. So if you want to play elementals, you have to get lucky. Sometimes you can play elementals and dragons if you have Nomi and Kalegos. It can happen, actually. And you decide 2 or 3 times later what you want to actually proceed to commit to. Then we have Alakir on our list. Alakir is just good with beasts because he can double on the Macau. Macau can trigger Great Wolf, Macau can trigger Spawn, Macau can trigger Selfless. He can also just play demons, put a big demon first, and then go crazy. He doesn't want to play mechs, and he doesn't really benefit from playing Murlocs either. He can play the poisonous 5-drop, but he doesn't really benefit from playing Murlocs. So far, none of the heroes benefit from playing Murlocs, and Murlocs are a pretty weak strategy. Let's get into 2 heroes that are very similar, and they kind of like to play Murlocs, at least early game. Maiev and Rafam. I think Maiev and Rafam can benefit the most out of Rockpool and Tidehunter in the early game, but then should immediately drop them and switch to something else. I don't think you can win games on Maiev and Rafam playing Murlocs. I really think right now the only hero in the game that can play Murlocs consistently and win with them is is Jandice or George. Jandice or George are able to play Murlocs. Jandice because she can just switch a Bagurgle every single turn or switch a Discovery Guy every single turn with Bran, triple, get a lot of stats. George because he can just Divine Shield all, poison us all. That's pretty much why those 2 heroes can play Murlocs. Maiev and Rafam can use the Murlocs early game to win a couple of fights and then triple into something else and then move towards dragons or demons. If they get, for example, Rough Weaver together with the Murlocs. So the early games that I like to play on both Maiev and Rafam include dragons, Murlocs, demons, and usually a mix of them. Just mixing 2 of those, trying to get some triples. I never like to go full demons. I like to combine demons with something and then get some triples. And then the triples give me Floating Watcher. And then I throw the triples away and focus fully on demons. And maybe I can discover a 5 and the triple can give me Razar Gore and I continue playing dragons. Or the triple gives me Bran or Lightfang, and then I keep 1 Murloc, I keep 1 Demon, I keep 1 Dragon, and I play Menagerie. So you just give yourself a lot of options and possibilities by playing multiple tribes on Maiev and Rafam. They have, again, pretty similar hero powers. They both play the aggro curve, and I think they both benefit from playing Murlocs, Dragons, Demons in the early game and trying to triple them. Then we have Lich King on the list. Lich King, very powerful. Together with Spawn, which is a neutral, appears in every single game. Very powerful with Kaboom Bot, and then later down the road, powerful with mechs by having Kaboombot, Egg, Baron, Kangor, this type of like strategy. I don't think it's very game winning, but it's consistent. So if you can get your hands on it, you can probably get like a top 3 or top 2. And if you want game winning on Lich King, it's Beasts. He's probably one of the best heroes in the game at playing Beasts right now. If he gets his hands on Goldrin, it's pretty insane because he's the only hero in the game that can get away with taunting Goldrin. What do I mean with that? Most heroes don't want to taunt the Goldrin because if you have Goldrin taunted and you want to play Macau later, they can kill your Goldring before your Macau activates. But if you have Goldring taunted on Lich King, you can hero power it, they will kill it, and then he will spawn as a 4-1 that then Macau can activate on. Why would you want Goldring taunted? Well, in the beginning, you don't start by playing Macau. Usually you have like an Infested Wolf or a Rat Pack or something like that. And if you don't have the Goldring taunted, there is the risk that Goldring doesn't die and then he doesn't buff your minions and then you don't get anywhere. But by having Goldring taunted, you can use the Infested Wolf and you can use the Rat Pack, and then you can replace them with Macau and Baron and whatever else you want, Hydra, whatever, and you can still benefit from that by just hero powering it, and you don't get punished for having it taunted. So Lich King is really good with beasts, and again, pretty good with mechs. George. George is, again, one of the only hero in this list, and one of the 2 heroes that can actually play Murlocs and wants Murlocs. If you don't see Murlocs, I would not pick George. Similarly for Jandis, who doesn't appear on this list, if I don't see Murlocs and Beasts, Jandis loses a lot in my book. But if I don't see Murlocs, I'm probably not going to pick Jandis only for Beasts, unless the other 3 picks are just outrageously bad. So I would pick Jandis with Murlocs and Beasts over most heroes in this list. I think I would only pick Elise and Galakrond over her. I'm not kidding. That's how high I value her. I guess maybe I would value Milhouse with Dragon's Elementals a bit more than Jandis with Murlocs and Beasts. But Jandis with Murlocs and Beasts is top tier for me, even though she doesn't appear in these overall stats. By the way, these are the stats for 7,000 plus. So it's top 20% of the recorded player base. But I mostly look at stats for the top 1%. Again, I'm doing this video on the top 20% win rates because I think that affects more of the player base, obviously. I still think these stats are super accurate and these heroes are all amazing. Again, the only one that I would add to this top is Jandis with Murlocs and Beasts. And without Murlocs, I was going to say that she's like, I'm not even looking at her. But if I have Murlocs, I'm a bit interested. If I have Murlocs and Beasts, I'm super interested. George wants Murlocs. If you don't see Murlocs on George, again, maybe you'll have to pick him if the other picks are terrible, but I would not like to go for it. And George wants Demons because Big Rough Weaver with Divine Shield is better. And George is kind of like a natural Selfless. Selfless on George is not that bad because you can taunt your poisonous Divine Shields and then put Selfless after to re-Divine Shield them. Or you can even put Selfless first or second if you expect your opponent to have Ghoul to be able to counter the Ghoul and then re-Divine Shield your powerful minions. So I feel like there are a lot of tactics involving George and Divine Shields. And in general, Divine Shields are pretty powerful in this metagame. We see most heroes want to play with Selfless. Most heroes that play Demons want to play with Selfless, and people that play with Dragons want to play Nadina. So it's kind of like a Divine Shield metagame. Ghoul is like MVP. If we wouldn't have Ghoul and we would have Nefarian would be like the best hero in the game in this metagame. I'm not even kidding you. But just because we have Ghoul, every single hero has access to AoE. And I kind of like this metagame. I really enjoy playing mostly Menagerie. I'll try to broaden my perspective and try to play a bit more Dragons and Demons more often, because looking at the stats, it's every single hero, Dragon Demons, Dragon Demons, Dragon Demons, Dragon Demons. Again, if you don't have Dragons, for example, a hero like Ragnaros might become way better than like the other heroes, again, other than Elise and Galakrond. I would personally pick Elise, Galakrond, no matter the tribes that are banned, because they don't really care about it that much. But Ragnaros in a no Dragons lobby, probably third best pick in the game. Again, together with Jandis. Then we also have like just overall powerful heroes like Milhouse, like Maevra Fam, that don't care that much. Like most of these heroes are so powerful, they don't really get that much weaker from these tribes. But basically I was trying to like tell you guys what the stats say you should play on these heroes and what I think you should play on these heroes as well. Sometimes they are the same, and sometimes I kind of have a different opinion than the stats say, mostly because I don't know, view the game in a different way. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what other topics you would want me to discuss, and I'll try to cover them in the near future. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.